was a mansion. An actual mansion. I stood on the driveway outside, my neck craning back, and took in the massive red brick building. It had gray slate tiles on the roof and bright white wood-framed windows. It also went on and on and on. "Do you like it?" I swallowed hard and glanced over at Haley's fiancé and my soon-to-be stepfather. Theodore Fairweather was in his mid-40s, tall, athletically built, and I guess good-looking for an old guy. To top it off, he owned a home that could fit our California apartment inside it 20, 30 times over. "It's big," I said. Theo laughed, his eyes crinkling at the corners. They did that a lot. I supposed that meant he laughed a lot. That didn't mean he was a kind man, though. Those laughing blue eyes could still be hiding cruelty. People were, after all, masters at deception. "It is big," he agreed. "You know I love it." Haley laid her head on his shoulder. "I can't believe we're finally here." "Oh, I can't either." He kissed her forehead. "It feels like forever I've been waiting for you to show up." Theo had picked us up at the airport. We didn't have a lot of stuff with us because Haley told me not to pack too many clothes. She said we'd need to go shopping for clothes that would help us fit in better. Right. I could tell she was excited at the prospect of spending Theo's cash. I, on the other hand, didn't want to owe this guy anything. Unfortunately, I was already into him for thousands in tuition fees at some stuck-up school in Boston. "Let's get inside." Theo strode in through the double front doors. We stepped into a marble entrance hall with two large inner double doors that led into the main hall. A grand staircase swept down toward us in a curve. I stared around wide-eyed at the expensive furnishings. Growing up, I tried my best not to feel like trash. I knew people thought we were trash, but I worked hard to remember that no matter what they said, I wasn't. But standing in cheap clothes in that big, expensive house, I suddenly felt this overwhelming fear that I would never find my power here, my control. I felt awkward, unsophisticated, uncultured. I felt like trash. And if possible, I hated Haley and Theo even more for bringing me here and making me feel that way about myself. "I'll show you around and then to your room, India." The rest of the house made me sick to my stomach with its beauty. I lost count of how many stunningly decorated and lushly furnished reception rooms Theo led us through. The kitchen was twice the size of our apartment. Finally, he led us to the back of the house, into a more casual TV room. 3 of the walls were made up of floor-to-ceiling glass, and a twin set of French doors that led out onto a larger patio area. I could see a barbecue, large outdoor dining set, lounge chairs, and beyond that, in the near distance, was a massive swimming pool and a pool house that was a mini version of the main house. Sitting around the pool, laughing and talking, were a group of kids about my age. Theo frowned at the sight, but as soon as he became aware of my scrutiny, he grinned. The sudden change only reinforced my decision to be wary of his character. "Eloise is out there with some friends. Why don't we take you out there and then Eloise can show you to your room later?" I couldn't think of anything worse. Immediately, the sick feeling in my gut became a swarm of butterflies. My feet might as well have been weighted down with anchors as Theo and Haley forced me outside into the late September sun. "Eloise?" Theo called, and a pretty redhead stood up from a lounger. She was wearing a beautiful yellow silk dress that looked great against her pale rose skin and probably cost a fortune. She stepped forward and beamed at her father. I felt a twinge of something I refused to call jealousy as father and daughter embraced. A tight hug that was so full of feeling they would have to be really freaking great actors for it to be faked, and then smiled into one another's faces. Theo murmured something that I couldn't quite hear, and Eloise looked chastened. "I'm sorry, Daddy." Eloise looked squarely at Haley. "I apologize for not coming out to welcome you properly." "That's okay, sweetheart." Haley waved her apology off while I tried not to scowl at them both.